Hello class, today's lesson is over humanism and the origins of the Renaissance. And our target is that I can describe the ideas of humanism and the origins of the Renaissance. So the word humanism. Humanism is the belief in the worth of the individual and that reason is a path to knowledge. Now, humanism, in this belief, people study and focused on Greek and Latin works. Now, since Italy was the center, basically like the bullseye of Rome, they had lots of Roman ruins, lots of Roman artwork, and Greek artwork that they could look at and become inspired by. Now, the areas of study in humanism are called humanities. And some of those examples are classic literature, people studying the old ancient writings of the Greek and Romans, their stories, their ideas. The study of history itself, the way we do that in my classroom, is also an example of humanism. The visual arts, things like statues, paintings, those are also part of the humanities. So Mrs. Imhoff's class is a humanity. Theater. All those students who love watching movies can thank the Renaissance for promoting the ideas of theater, live plays, which are basically the ancestors of our movies today. And then politics, the study of government, looking at how government should work, how leaders should act, how we should choose our leaders. All that stuff has its origins during the Renaissance. Now, the Renaissance for Italy started in Italy, but it owes a lot to the Moors, which is a name given to Spanish Muslims who lived in Spain before the Reconquista. Remember, this is from the Middle Ages. Now, scholars in Spain built lots of libraries, and with their libraries, they had the recordings of Greek and Roman classic writings. And since they're Muslim, they would record that in Arabic, in their common language. They also brought papermaking to Europe, which is essential, as you're going to find out later on, for the mass production of books. Now, later Renaissance writers in Italy and students would translate these books into their vernacular. Now, the word vernacular basically means the everyday spoken language of a region. In ancient times, uh, people would write in Arabic, Latin, or Greek. And it didn't matter what their spoken language was. For example, we speak in English. You've got Italian, you've got French, German, all those Romance languages that are not Latin are considered vernacular. And during the Renaissance, this is the first time where people actually started to write books in the very language they knew how to read and write in. They didn't have to study a foreign language in order to go to school. Now, the Moors in Spain, we owe a big debt to them for making sure to record all these ancient writings. Otherwise, we might have very little knowledge of them, possibly. Now on to a famous Italian humanist named Petrarch. Now he traveled to European monasteries all over Europe. If you remember, that is where monks live. And he would translate old Latin manuscripts and books into the vernacular. Now the monks, as you can see in this image, they also played a similar role as the Spanish Moors by recording in Roman writings. Now Petrarch also inspired the construction of large libraries in Italy, which was essential to the future education of the people living in Italy. Now let's look at a couple of famous humanists in literature. Machiavelli is the author. Well, first of all, he was a diplomat. And a diplomat is a government position where they work on treaties, peace treaties, making sure that countries aren't fighting each other. And he lived in Florence. Now, as a politician, he wrote a book called The Prince. And this book took a critical look at politics in Renaissance Italy. And he wanted to answer a question. How could a ruler keep his hold on power in the Italian states? His answer was that a ruler should do whatever is necessary, even if you have to lie and kill. He has a famous quote from his book, and that's right here. The end justifies the means. Basically, he wrote in his book that a ruler should be ruthless, be willing to kill, to lie, to do whatever he had to protect his people and his city. If he wanted his city, his kingdom, his people to be safe and successful, he should be willing to do bad and evil things. The end, safety, peace, prosperity, is justifies the means, which is things to get that peace. Another famous Italian Renaissance writer is Dante Alighieri. Don't worry about his last name, just remember his name, Dante. Now, he's the author of the Divine Comedy. You know, this is not a book about funny stuff. This is a book written in the vernacular, which would be, since he's from Italy, he wrote in Italian, and it tells the story of a person's journey from hell into heaven. And a famous quote from his book, or from his poem, it's actually a long poem, is "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." Now, the big thing you need to get from this is that he wrote in the vernacular Italian. Even though he was in Italy, the center of the Roman Empire, he didn't write it in Latin. He thought his own language was good. Later on in high school, I believe you guys may actually even read sections of the Divine Comedy. And now we get to Gutenberg, probably one of my favorite names to say. Gutenberg took the idea of movable type, which was invented in China, and improved on it. Now, he is from Germany, and he developed a press using this movable metal type. And you can see the press right here. Basically, movable type means you had a block for each letter. So you'd have like T, L, A, E, C, and you would S, and you would rearrange those to create a word like blast. Okay, and you can put them or lab or sat, and you guys get the idea. You'd arrange these letters and you'd put them right here on the press, and then literally press it down on the paper, and you could arrange letters to create a new page, and you could mass produce, mass print multiple pages a lot faster than copying it by hand. So if you can quickly print books instead of handwriting them slowly, you can make a lot more books a lot quicker. And the very first book he had printed was a German translation of the Christian Bible. Now, since he printed it in German, what was that? Yep, vernacular. Not printing a Bible in Latin. He wanted to make sure that people who could read and write in German could actually read the Bible. Now, the big thing with this is his invention made books cheaper. And as a result, education became cheaper too. More people could spend money to send their children to school. And if their children can get an education, they can get a better jobs equaled more money. And these things fueled the Renaissance and helped bring about the explosion of art, stories, literature, theater. People were educated, they knew how to do these things. And a lot of the artwork that we are very familiar with the Renaissance, which we'll find out next week, came about because of this invention and this study of the humanities. All right, so for your lesson, after you finish filling in your notes, is to go back to Google Classroom and complete the SNP assignment. You will find the directions there. Make sure that when you do follow these directions, you read all of it and you answer the questions. Good luck. If you have any other questions, if you need help with your assignment in the SNP, raise your hand and I will come to you to help you.